Hello everyone, welcome to a new podcast that me and Hayden are doing. It's called Console Conversations. We're going to be talking about the video game industry.
Yep.
And we're going to be talking about our E3 2019 thoughts and predictions in this episode. We'll talk about multiple topics, but first I'd like to say there are some people who watch my videos, and I'm very flattered about this, and they have
Copied,
not really in a bad way, but copied what I do. They wear a mask. There's someone who commented on a couple of my videos.
It's more like
it's like _06 at the end of his name, and he wore an Iron Man mask in his latest video. So there you go.
It's not really copying. It's like them seeing that it's a good idea, so they're doing them themselves.
Yeah.
Like we're doing.
That's true. Yeah. So here, let's get into the video. Let's shut up. Oh, wait, no, we're not shutting up. We're talking soon. We're talking about video games, though. So, yeah. Okay, first we're going to be talking about Nintendo at E3 and the games we think they will talk about, because they have a lot of open-ended games like Link's Awakening, Luigi's Mansion, Animal Crossing, Fire Emblem. All kinds of these really important games that they have to give details on. And I think that there are a couple of games they might announce that are completely new to come out either late this year or even next year. So, the first one, if you would like to start us off.
So the first one that I think, or we think as together, that would be in E3 is a new Banjo-Kazooie game. And it would be a new Banjo-Kazooie game because Microsoft and Nintendo have been growing a bond over the years of this console war and since the start of it. And if they make a new Banjo-Kazooie game, it would show their bond. And together, it would release one probably on the Xbox and then also on the Switch. And then with releasing a new Banjo-Kazooie game, they would also release a Banjo-Kazooie DLC character in Smash.
Yes, definitely, because they're going to have to do that if they want to kill the audience. So yeah, I think they'd be able to bond over Rare Studios, because Rare is mostly owned by Microsoft, but some of it's still owned by Nintendo. So since both of them own parts of it, you could definitely see that why they would bond over that game. And it'd be really good for Smash since a lot of people wanted it, but they haven't disproved it. And guess what? Reggie, before he retired, he said all Smash DLC characters are not going to be Nintendo IPs or characters. All of them. So that means we got Joker, he's not Nintendo. And if we get Banjo-Kazooie, he's not Nintendo.
So that means Waluigi's still not going to be.
Yes, probably not, sadly.
And also not Link's Horse either.
Yes,
sadly.
Definitely not Link's Horse. Epona will miss you. Okay, sorry, I'm getting emotional. Okay, so and the next game we think is going to be announced possibly is a port of the Metroid franchise. And here's why. So, Metroid Prime 4 got scrapped in development completely.
And they're restarting.
Yeah, so they want to appeal to that audience of Metroid gamers. People who love and love and love Metroid. And they would hold them off because they probably are like, well, Metroid Prime 4 is never going to happen. Might as well not buy ever a Switch. Never buy a Switch. So they could use that to hold them off and get a huge audience who likes Metroid in maybe about a million players, which is a ton. And they would boost their sales because they're only like 5 million away from beating PlayStation, which is super impressive. So considering that, if you think about it, then that would bring in like a very good fraction of what they need left to get there.
And what about the original players that played those games when they came out?
Yeah. Well, what do you think about a? What do you think would happen if it were to release a new Kid Icarus game?
Well,
do you think that would bring in a new audience? I mean, I'm not saying it's likely because Sakurai's working so hard on Smash DLC. Probably not. But let's say hypothetically they announce a new Kid Icarus game. What do you think? How many people do you think that bring in? Do you think that'd be beneficial for them?
Yeah, probably like maybe 1 million, because people like around 1 million, give or less a few, like 100,000 maybe. Yeah, because I mean Kid Icarus, people really do like Kid Icarus, and like the original Kid Icarus or the Kid Icarus of like these Kid Icarus is on the 3DS. And if they make a new or like remaster or make a new Kid Icarus, it would probably bring a lot of people to the Switch that have to stay with the original ones or stay with the 3DS. And also, since the original Kid Icaruses were on the 3DS and that was a handheld, it would be beneficial because Nintendo Switch is also a part handheld too. So you would easily be able to port the Kid Icaruses from the 3DSs.
Yeah, what do you think about a new Kirby game? Do you
Well,
think that's likely?
Well, a new Kirby game, most likely it would be made in the other parts of the Switch's lifetime. Like not this year, maybe not next year, maybe in 2021.
Yeah,
but
probably.
They have to wait a little bit before they make a new Kirby game. And Kirby's a popular series, but they have to wait a little bit between their Kirby games because it's like one of those, they can't be the opposite of some other game series that they wait such a long time for, but then it would probably make other people mad that they're making these games they're releasing these games like really quickly, but some other games are just like they're not making them or releasing them as quickly as these other games.
Yeah, I mean, Kirby's not one of those games where it may seem like they're easy to make and people can just whip them out one after one. You have to consider, you know who made all those Kirby games when they were snapping out like that, coming out like that?
Sakurai.
It was Sakurai.
And that's why he quit.
Yeah, and he works so hard. I say he's the hardest worker that is like the hardest widely known worker in Nintendo. He works super hard. I heard a story. When he was sick during a work day, you know what? He would just go to the doctor, get an IV, and then go. And even though he was sick, he would keep programming.
And also, I heard a story about how Sakurai has been working so hard that he can't even use a mouse anymore, and he has to use one of those ball things.
Yeah, he has to use like a gyro thing. He also doesn't feed himself properly sometimes. He doesn't clean himself properly sometimes. He works so hard. And let's just say real quick, thank you, Sakurai. You're amazing. So, that being considered, Kirby games anymore are not going to be pumping out like that.
Mm-hmm.
You can't expect it to, because their turnout rate went down. Like, remember, the GameCube had none. And there was one on the 64. Because after the SNES, it totally dropped in terms of like release after release after release.
Wasn't the SNES the first Nintendo system?
No, the NES.
Oh, yeah.
Well, technically the Game & Watch, but that's not. But anyway, yeah. So you have Sakurai doing all that work, and then we have one game on the 64. Sure, we had a ton on the handhelds, but I'm not counting those since those are a whole separate thing, and I count the Switch as mostly as a home console. Right?
I mean, they had a lot on the Wii though.
Yeah, they did. That's true. That was true. No, they had two.
Well,
and then they had a bunch of like re-releases and stuff.
Yeah, but still, they did get their chance with the Wii to re-inflate the Kirby series, which.
But I think you have to consider, the thing is, they released released all those games over an 8-year period.
Yeah.
And all the other consoles were not around for 8 years. The GameCube, 5 years. And the N64, 5 years. So that time where it slowed down, that makes sense because it was less years and because Sakurai wasn't there. So there was one game on the 64, 0 on the GameCube. Well, Kirby Air Ride, but that's a spin-off. And then you had a ton of the ones before those. So then you have the Wii, which only had more because it was over time, so it's still in that decreasing area. The Wii U had a bunch of spin-offs, but not really anything true. The 3DS was the first sign of it rising, and I think that's what tricked people into thinking that they would have a bunch of entries on the Switch, but then it just completely went away. So it is kind of likely, but not too likely. So let's get into our third game. That was a pretty long discussion. Pikmin 4 is what we think. Because Pikmin, we'll keep this one short and simple. It's kind of simple why they would release it.
People really want it. They've been hinting at it. They've been hinting at it for years. People don't know what happened to it. They were thinking that it was going to be released on the Wii U, but it did not get released on the Wii U. And they got tricked to thinking that, it's almost done. And I think people thought it was Pikmin 4.
But it was fake Pikmin.
Yeah.
And no Pikmin fan really appreciated that game, because it wasn't Pikmin.
Who?
It was Pikmin, but it wasn't
It was Pikmin in a 2D world.
Yeah, which doesn't work. That's not how you make Pikmin. I've never even played Pikmin, but I know that's not how Pikmin works. You make it a 3D open game. That's how it works. And so they hinted at it, but it was Hey Pikmin. So if they hinted at it again and they're like, it's just going to be Hey Pikmin 2, we don't care. But then they reveal that it's actually a really good Pikmin 4. People will rush to the stores to buy a Switch. It'll bring in multiple new millions of Switch units. It'll be great business for them. And that's what this is about. This is about them winning the console war, because they had the disadvantage with the Wii U. But now they have a real chance with the Switch, and they should not give it up in any way.
Yeah.
So, the fourth game we think is
a new Mario Kart, and so...
Well, I think it's going to be called Nintendo Kart.
Yeah. And so in Nintendo Kart, it would be different than the previous Mario Karts, because as you see, Nintendo has been changing and learned their lesson from their previous mistakes. And what they might do is in Nintendo Kart, since it's Nintendo Kart, it would be kind of like Super Smash Bros., where they put like a bunch of Nintendo characters from all of these different series in this game, and there's be a bunch of different karts and tracks for the different series and Nintendo characters. And then also, there would be like these modes for specific series of characters.
Like an F-Zero mode.
And then I was thinking that there would be challenges,
Mission mode.
Yeah, mission mode. Or like a story mode. Like they would have to race, and then there'd be bosses where they try to beat, but the bosses were like really hard, and they'd have the advantage over you, and you'd have to beat them.
Yeah, because there's a game coming out, it's a racing game that was on the PlayStation, but then it kind of got forgotten, but it's going to be remade, and it comes out this month. Well, if you're watching in June 19, 2019,
or
it comes
July.
out this month.
Or any time in the future.
Yeah. And so, that's the thing. It has a story mode with bosses, and it's super cool. So if Nintendo Kart does that...
He's talking about cross-team racing.
Yeah, cross-team racing. People will praise it so much.
Yeah. They'll think that every kart racing game will be like a similar concept with a story mode. Like, I think every game should at least have some type of story to it. If it's like a spin-off or racing game or like a regular game. Like all of these like non-spin-offs have stories, so why shouldn't the spin-offs not have stories too? Like the RPG games have stories. Why not the racing games or Mario Party games? Like the Mario Party games have stories now.
Yeah, why would you put Mario Party before Mario Kart? That's so stupid.
The Mario Tennis games have stories.
Yeah, but here's the thing. They had a mission mode in DS. They need to bring it back, first of all. But that game that mode got so much attention. It was so big. And now if they put an advanced version and the original in there, they're golden. And Mario Kart 8 Deluxe sold the most units of any game on the Switch. That's huge. So if they
People really like Mario Kart.
Yeah, if they release a new Mario Kart, they'll get really good things. Okay, so then let's go into our fifth prediction, and that is a port of Skyward Sword. Skyward Sword HD. Because here's the thing, I actually really like that game. It's really good, well made. But here's the thing, they have a lot of issues that they could fix if they released a remake. And if they release a remake and they fix all the issues, then it'd be acclaimed like it wouldn't get as much hate, and it would be loved like Twilight Princess and Wind Waker are when they got their HD remakes. And so I think it'd be really exciting because it'd hold off all the Zelda fans in 2020 because we know it's not going to come. If it comes out, it's not coming out this year because we have Cadence of Hyrule and Link's Awakening. There's no way it's coming out this year. So it'll probably come out in 2020. And then that'll hold them off for the whole year until 2021. And that is when we think the next huge major Zelda will come out, which will be probably like a sequel to Breath of the Wild. Which would be great because then you have a new Zelda game each year so that all the Zelda fans aren't being neglected like they've been on other consoles. Like, I know the Wii U. Like, I know the Wii U very well, but we were neglected. Us Zelda fans were neglected during its lifespan.
Until the end, when they released Breath of the Wild. And the Zelda series is one of those series in Nintendo that has a history of having long gaps in release dates. And that, there hasn't been a lot of main party Zelda games in that time. Like, look at the Mario games. There's like a bunch of them.
Three every year. There's like 3 new Mario games every year. And so here's the thing. Like, if we think of that, if we think that there's going to be a new Zelda game every year, that'd be perfect. Because in 2014, we got that. I remember watching the thing, and there was that tech demo. Really cool. But it didn't turn out to be anything. And the whole time they were teasing Breath of the Wild, and it took forever. It took 6 years. So we didn't get it in 2012, 2013, 2014. 2014 was finally the year where we got something. But it was only a Wind Waker port. Which it was good, don't get me wrong. And then we waited 2 more years. Well, we thought next year would be Breath of the Wild, but it wasn't. And then 2016 we thought again, but it was Twilight Princess HD, which again is a great game. But still, we were neglected. And I think they're really going to be good if they can put out a new Zelda game each year. So, our final main game that we have on our list here.
Well, I have some extra opinions.
Well, yeah. But I mean, our final game we have on our list here as our main thing is Nintendo. And Hayden, you can go ahead and I'll elaborate on that because
so why they would make a new Nintendogs is because it's been years since they released a Nintendogs, and I feel like the last Nintendogs was on DS, and that was in in the early 21st century, and it really appealed to the casual audience. So if they release another Nintendogs, it will really make people happy because people love Nintendogs, and it sold a bunch on the Wii and the DS.
because the DS and the Wii were able to reach casual audiences, and that really put them powerful through and got them through that, and it was able to reach the casuals and make Nintendo win that console war. So if they're able to do the same thing on the Switch, I guarantee you they will win this console war. So yeah, that's all we have on Nintendogs, and you can go ahead and share.
So the final
your
thing
opinion.
that I think that might be announced for E3 is a new Super Mario Galaxy game in early 2020, like in February or March, because so this is the final year that Nintendo can try and win the console war.
Well, it's the final year of the console.
Yeah, the final year.
And it's the final year they have to really bring up the Switch and make it powerful before, because they have to get all their preparations in before the rush comes in. Which is what I'm calling it. I'm calling it the rush. You can call it the wave or the earthquake or whatever you want to call it. But it's where both other two companies are releasing brand new consoles. And that will be huge.
And with a new Super Mario Galaxy, because the Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 really did a very good job on the Wii and sold very many, they sold a lot of games, and that also helped them win the console war with both of them on the Wii. Now, a lot of people want a Super Mario Galaxy 3, and they don't have another one, and they have to keep the Wii or the Wii U. And if they have a Super Mario Galaxy 3, or even more likely is if they release a port of 1 and 2 together in one game, and they have like separate areas where you can play each one. And then you have Super Mario Galaxy 3 later in the year, so that would make their rush of getting their games gain probably over the scales of Sony and Microsoft in that time.
That'd be perfect. And I think one thing I have to add on is I doubt they're going to announce that this E3. I think they're going to announce it in a later direct this year, because they have so much to announce here. If they have so many open-ended games to provide details on, they're probably going to release at least one, maybe two of these games, which is why we put them here, because they're likely. We didn't put them there because they're not likely. So yeah, I think that'll be announced later this year. And now it's time to talk Sony. So with Sony, we're going to be talking about why they're not working here. And we'll keep this short and simple because it's really simple to understand. It's because they're going to need everything they got to make a great launch and a great console. Because they need a great launch to get the PS5
They need a perfect launch.
Yeah, a perfect launch. And then they need a really good console that's original but also really good. Because it can't be like the Switch, but it has to also still be better than the Switch, but not the Switch.
And they can't be wasting their time setting up for E3. And they're probably also there's probably a team working on the PlayStation 5, but there's also probably a team working on games for the PlayStation 5. And also, since it has backwards capability, you don't need to make as many games. You can just play your PS4 games on the PS5. So that gives them some options. Now, what I think that it might look like, so it's not the same as the Switch, but it's in the same category of what people like. I think that it's going to be portable, and it's going to be a tiny
screen
like this
in the console that you can take out.
Yeah.
Which is kind of interesting because a couple of years ago I was speculating what would be a really cool console. I was imagining what if I could make a console, right?
Yeah.
Because that's just a pretty easy. So I imagined that and I was like, well, a screen in the console that you can take out and play on the go. That's perfect. Which is kind of what the Switch did, but what they're going to do is something kind of similar to the Wii U, except Like, you don't have to have your console plugged in.
Well,
you can just put it on the console and it knows, okay, because they're not going to do a full, like, portable, because they did so badly with all their other portables. So they're going to make it a hybrid sort of type of thing, like the Wii U.
But you don't have to be close to the console. And also, you can carry the console around with you. So it's only be small, so you can either flip it out or take it out. And then you can play it with your controllers, and you can carry around in like a backpack or like a pocket or like a saddle thing, because like it's going to be smaller. Like, technology is going to be better by the time. Like, during the time, like phones, they're getting bigger because there's more things to put in there. But in the early 1990s or 80s, the phones were like really big and really expensive because technology was not as great. But now, ever since 2014, there's been many advancements in technology. So now they can make a small, portable, lightweight console that people can carry around, and they might have like a saddle thing so you can easily carry it around with you.
Yeah, I think that'd be a great idea. And so that's enough. I think that's enough for Sony. So I think next we got through 2 of the big 3, but we have not talked about the underdog of this console or in the next one, Xbox. Microsoft is likely to lose many more console wars because they've lost all the ones they've been in. I don't think they're going to win anytime soon. But let's say they do win the next console war. Yeah. How do you think that would play out?
Well, I think that, you know how they're releasing the Anaconda like next year, 2021, sometime in that range.
Yeah, like 2020.
Yeah. And so I think their close relationship with Nintendo can help them out. They can either make a deal to have games be traded with them so that they have Nintendo as like Halo or those other popular games like Sea of Thieves, things that people really want. Now, if they have that, they can trade games with each other and have share the games with each other. But then they could do that to get them each other stronger and probably overpass PlayStation in that way of that console war. But what they would have to do is make an actually new good console, because every single console that they've released after the Xbox One has been an Xbox One with a letter next to it.
Yeah, I think we have to say, yeah, honestly, that's what I think. It's not going to be a new console. That's what I think.
Yeah, it's going to be the Xbox 8.
Yeah, honestly, let's drop the whole thing about them winning the console, because that's kind of a stupid question. I don't know why I asked that. Because they're not going to win, no matter what. They can't, because Nintendo and Sony are just so much better. So, no offense, Xbox, you're still pretty good.
Or Xbox
you have
fans.
some pretty good games. I'm not a Halo type of guy, but Halo's a pretty good game. It's just not my type of game.
Pretty popular.
So,
I would like Sea of Thieves on other consoles.
Yeah. So the Anaconda, though, we need to talk about this.
Yeah.
So I think there's 2 possible things we can talk about, and we talked about this. So one, which we already talked about, is I don't think it's going to be a real new console. I think it's going to be the Xbox, like the Xbox One S, the Xbox One X.
It'll be the Xbox A.
Yeah, Xbox One A. It's not going to be new because they don't care about doing well. It's kind of stupid. I don't need to be mean to anyone who really likes Xbox, because you probably have a good reason. But it's kind of stupid because they are purposely trying to not make a new good console, which they need to do. And the Xbox One, the Xbox 360, and the Xbox, stellar consoles, really good job.
But there's only 3.
But if you don't make a new console, that's kind of a stupid decision.
Yeah.
But I hope they're going to make a real new console, because they called the Xbox One S the Scorpion.
And hyped
it up. Everyone thought it was going to be a new console, but it wasn't.
And
so they really need to fight hard and do something good here. And if you do think it is a new console, what do you think it will be like?
And you call Sony unoriginal. They haven't made a new console since the Xbox One.
Yeah, and that came out so. I remember I first saw the commercial for it. I was going to see a movie. I forget what movie it was. It was 2012. It was a really good movie though. I think it got nominated for Oscar, but I don't know. So it was in 2012, and I went over there to the movie theater, and I was watching, and I was waiting for the movie to start, and then I saw there was an Xbox One trailer, and I was like, oh, that looks kind of cool. 2012. That's when I think. Maybe I'm getting this wrong. But it's been a long time, and they need to get a new one in there, because if they're gonna, because what PlayStation did was they released one redesign, and they said this is a redesign. They didn't make any bullcrap where they were like, oh yeah, it's gonna be a new console.
They say PS Pro, but it's obviously a redesign with more power. It's a more powerful console with better graphics. You can play games on the PS4 or PS4. You don't need to get a new one. It's just a better new console. Like, it's a new version.
Yeah, and so considering that, you have, and then it would be okay for them to last a long time, because that's what the Wii and the PS4 did. They lasted very long. They didn't release their console for a long time, which is fine.
Yeah.
But what the Xbox 360 does is it keeps tricking us and releasing redesigns. I don't appreciate that. Stop it, please.
What are these redesigns? A small Xbox? A big Xbox? What's the part? They release a new Xbox like every year.
Yeah, okay.
And they're just redesigns.
So then if the Anaconda is a real new console, what do you think it's going to be like? Because honestly, I think it's just going to be a new Xbox One. It's not going to be anything special. It's not going to really be like any. I don't think they're going to try out the hybrid in any way.
Yeah.
Because they're not. Well, actually, I think it'll either be the exact same as the Xbox One, which is kind of boring, so I'm not going to talk about that possibility, which is more likely. But what if it's a handheld? What if it's their first handheld? That'd be cool, I think.
They've never tried it, but it could either fail or be really good.
Yeah, I think it would be more. It would not beat out Nintendo.
Yeah.
And
because
people may think at first, oh, it'll beat out PlayStation. Well, yeah, PlayStation didn't do well, but guess what people said? People said PlayStation would beat out Nintendo. They did. So Xbox won't beat out PlayStation. So they're probably going to be last place, or they'll pull off some miracle and release amazing games on it, and it'll be a full new console.
Well, I mean, there's already games on it. Like, all the games that are on it that were on, like, Steam and stuff that came onto the Xbox for full release, except for Sea of Thieves, they're most likely going to be on other consoles in the future. They're only going to Xbox because they have this, like, review thing that people can review the games and give info to the developers to make the games better, which I think that's a good thing. But they're not going to release their own new games. They might release another Halo game or something, but all these games are not made by Microsoft. They're made by other indie developers.
Yeah.
Indie developers.
Yeah. Well, thank you everybody for listening. That was a pretty long episode.
I mean, it was only a few minutes longer than the other ones we did. I mean,
well, I've made some pretty long videos, but honestly, this is the shortest one. You can't count.
I guess that was long.
It's the longest one. Duh. What's wrong with me? Okay. Well, thank you everyone for watching. Thank you so much.
Comment below if you have any suggestions on new videos
and ideas to make our videos better. If you know any software we can use to edit our videos, because right now we don't use very good software. We don't use. Well, it's not that it's not good. It's just not very. It doesn't do much in terms of editing software. We really like that. Please comment down below any advice. Subscribe.
Like the video.
Or just cheat, because we don't want to spend too much. We don't care about money. We just care about making you guys enjoy yourselves. So write what would make you enjoy yourself down below. Subscribe, like, hit that notifications bell to never miss a new video, and subscribe to Hayden's channel. I don't think he's going to release many new videos because we have merged our channels together, which is pretty cool. So be safe as always, and we will see you soon in next week.
Goodbye.
Bye. But first, let me say, next week on Saturday, we will release a brand new video of console conversations.
Yes.
And almost every week of this summer, we will be releasing a new episode. So, every week, pretty much, almost. Because I think I'm going to take a trip soon. I'm still thinking about it. Maybe, maybe not. I will go. But yeah, and also on June 5th, I will be having a live reaction to the Pokemon Sword and Shield Direct, and I will have on June 11th a live reaction to the E3 Nintendo conference. So be safe, everybody.
We were right or wrong.
Bye.